Hey Anton, how's it going? Good morning.
Hey, Dharmesh, I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm doing okay, man. I got into a speakeasy last night, so that was kind of interesting. Been here in Toronto for like 30 years, and first time I heard of this bar. But I think it's a new bar, so that's an exception to the rule.
Nice.
Anyways, it was pretty cool, man. I think it'd be fun for a venue or something in the future.
Hmm. We all like to find a good speakeasy and discover what you can find as the mixologists create some cool things to drink and
Yeah,
whatnot.
that is pretty neat.
Awesome.
So, what are we? What's been the hot topic of the week on your side, Anton?
Well, one of the hot topics of the week has been revenue streaming. How we can figure out new ways of creating new revenue stream for our industry partners. How can we be creative? How we can be innovative as well in creating new revenue coming into the organization or association. So that's something that I've heard quite a bit in the past few weeks that I've been having conversation with our
That's
industry
cool.
partners. Mhm.
All right, so let's maybe tackle that today with the community. Show them how we can generate revenue using our platforms, with some different ideas out there and going with that. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. I mean, it's a good conversation to start, and
All
also
right.
maybe we can bring some new ideas to the community.
All right, let's do this.
Let's
Why don't we start off with what kind of questions you ran into this week, and then we can kind of build on that.
Well, some of the question that I have run this week was like, traditionally, a sponsorship has been a great revenue producer for any organization because, I mean, you give them a package or you sell them a particular setting for the sponsorships and you get, I mean, good XYZ amount of dollars to the
Right.
sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, depending that level of sponsorship. We traditionally go with the platinum, gold, silver, bronze, or tier one, tier two, tier three, whichever you would decide. But they have seen that sponsorships are sort of declining in a way that
Mm-hmm.
organizations and companies are hesitant because they also have budget cuts. So, with that, how can we increase that on top of the sponsorship, or how can we improve our sponsorship levels?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, even if what I'm also noticing on our client side, when we're having those conversations, unsponsorship related, but it's more of an a la carte layout of services essentially. So, it's not like, hey, I want everything. I want this, I want this, I want this, or I don't want that, or whatnot. And I can see that also applying to sponsorships as well. Because, for example, when we sponsor events and work with some partners, we do also want to customize it to best fit what we're trying to get from an activation as well. So I can see why and how other sponsors would want similar unpackaged scenarios. I guess then how would you, if that's the case, like looking at it from a planner perspective, how would you then, project what your sponsorship revenue is going to be essentially if you don't do packages and that's the only way that you know how to do it?
Well, you just mentioned like a few key components is tailoring. One thing that COVID brought us into a realization is that we were so set up in just continuing seeing the wheel the way that the wheel has been created and made, just keep it on repeating. It was basically on a repeat loop. It was the same thing year over year over year. But now we have to have better ways to make sure that we match what the sponsor or the person who's going to be participating matches the same interest. I think that is one of the key components, and I learned that when you match your core values with the core values, the symbiotic relationship becomes stronger, and then you can actually benefit even more so. I think that by creating a la carte menu, brings better ways to suit the needs of the sponsor, and you can actually obtain the same revenue, if not more. Because now you can sell other services that you probably didn't sell because they were packaged. So you were in that little box. You can get A, B, C, D for this amount of money. And that was about it. Now you can say, well, you can have from A to Z, and then we can create how much is the sponsorship is going to cost. And I think that sponsors are far more keen to listen to you and work with you when you can provide them what they're looking for.
Right.
everyone wants ROI, bottom line, right? The
Yeah,
sponsor
but
wants to get more money, and the association wants to obtain more money.
so like for example, let's say last year, with all the packages we had, we brought in hypothetically $500,000 in sponsorship revenue, right? If we go a la carte, unpackaged, how do we make sure that we're still going to hit the $500,000 per year? So, like from my perspective, would it be that every item that you have that's available for sponsorship, you would attach a dollar value to it, and then maybe there's a bundling option, right? Like that could
Correct.
be an opportunity. Okay, got it.
Correct, correct. But also, when you create this a la carte menu, you give more options that probably you didn't think of it because you
Mm,
were just so set up in that particular same box that you have been using year over year, right? So you didn't really have to do much
yeah.
brain thinking. It was more like, oh, okay, so you're gonna get the logo plus this mentioning plus 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 plus, and that was it. I think that also comes to a place that you're gonna be working much closely with your marketing team or whomever you're working with for a sponsorship to come up with more creative ways, ideas. Now we have so much more than what we had 3 years ago before COVID. I mean, virtual has become a new thing. You have better ways to present a product and service as a sponsorship. We don't need to just have those big banners. I mean, you can use it on your
Yeah.
registration portal, for example. You can use it on your housing portal. You can use it in your mobile app, and so on and so forth. So we have more tools in the toolkit than what we had a few years back.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we go through a couple of the components that an event would have and then see and just highlight some sponsorship items that we've seen folks use on our side. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
let's start with the housing world, with our housing platform. You know, number one, it's the landing page. So on the landing page, we have sponsor logos at the bottom of that. So actually, someone could sponsor the housing platform, right?
Correct.
The second thing could be is a tiered sponsorship. So if it's a high level sponsor, that landing image that we have on the housing platform, that could be associated with their logo or their brand, right? That could be
Correct.
something. What else is another one? Oh yeah, so on the hotel search screen, that's actually a new thing we added now, where you can have an ad within the search queries, right, for the hotel listing.
Hmm.
So that ad could be a sponsor ad or a message or an announcement or something. So there's two there. So I think those are pretty unique in their own merit in that
Yeah,
sense, right?
absolutely.
The so that's housing, and then for registration, okay, so registration, here we go. So on the attendee registration side, you can have a ad over there through the reg process, but it's not clickable because you want people to focus on registration. And then once they complete the registration, there's an ad on the thank you page. So it could be as many ads as you want. I mean, respectfully, it should be maybe one or two, but those can link out. And what's really nice is every ad that's there, we should always put a Google Tag Manager link to it. So what that means is that the sponsor can track where these links are coming through by using Google
Hmm.
Analytics. So that's
Excellent.
really helpful. So they can measure their ROI better as well,
Correct.
right? And then the third one is in the emails that get sent out. So emails can
Absolutely.
be invitation emails, reminder emails, confirmation emails, badge confirmation emails, ads and all that stuff. So that's really cool. All right. And then after that, we got the on-site process. So in the on-site screen, we have an ad ability to, when they check in, there's an ad there that people can say like, hey, visit StreamPoint at booth, blah, 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 right? Like a nice little banner ad. So we're actually reconfiguring that a little bit to see if we can add a few surprising elements in there as well, which would be kind of different in how the check-ins work and easier. So there's that. And then from a Apple Wallet standpoint, so Apple Wallet, we have our standard branding on it. It can be further enhanced as an add-on to customize it to the event brand, So maybe there is an opportunity there to put a highlight sponsor there as well, which is kind of neat. The badge, so lanyard. I mean, everybody knows that. There's the badge, so you're gonna have an icon, sorry, a logo on the front of the badge,
Okay.
on the back of the badge. The plastic, because especially like printing on demand in color in real time,
Yeah,
like that
that's
would
cool.
work really well. So we got the on-site there, and then you got your on-site check-in, and then your exhibitors. Obviously, there's the lead retrieval component. It's not really sponsorship, but there's ROI, like revenue share opportunity there as well from a revenue standpoint. So that's housing, and then there's of course on-site signages and videos and all that kind of stuff from the AV side. You know,
Absolutely. And just listening to you right now, you gave so many ideas that probably many of our members didn't think about it. But in reality, they do exist and they can work so hand in hand with their original plans. Because everyone comes and have a plan set up from the year right after the conference meeting event ends, right? So we finished the convention, yay! So let's start working on next year. You're
yeah,
like, oh Jesus, let's get this going. So, but with that you just listed, they can have so many more ways to actually include and add to what they already had. So truly what we are seeing is that with the new technology and with new advances that we have done as a company, there are opportunities for everyone to maximize and obtain new ways of revenue. And we can be very creative. The beauty about what you and I do and our team does is that we are more of an advisory part component of our partnership because we see things, we experience things, we work with so many different organizations from A to Z. So we have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we can say that sounds like an amazing idea, but we
yeah.
have an even better one. So this is what we tested it and we did it and we saw it happening. So think about not only as you at the registration, or you're the housing, or you're the lead retriever, you are a partner who can actually give me some good advice. And with that said,
So with that, there's three other things as well that just kind of posted up. Hotel key card sponsorship on a housing standpoint. So that's a good one. And then there's another one which is kind of unique, but it's essentially retargeting. So what it means is if you are, let's say you have a sponsor, that sponsor wants to push their ads out there, right? So they can actually be part of your retargeting campaign. So what that means is someone comes to your website, then your ads and also the sponsor's ads can be displayed in that scenario, right? So then there's a budget that the sponsor would pay in terms of ad distribution, but then also there is an opportunity to make some revenue on being able to target specific attendees who are just attending that conference and seeing ads related to that sponsor, which is kind of neat. So it's very unique that way. It's very extremely targeted. And then the other one is if you're using technology like RFID, for instance, or beacons, there's a lot of metrics that can be bubbled up to see which is the most popular area. And there's proof now based on that sense. So you can then actually say, hey, this area is going to be worth a little bit more because there'll be more traffic, essentially, generally, that's going to be there, right? I mean, it's a little controversial, but that is also an opportunity. But, or maybe there's, anyways, just putting that out there, so you can use that knowledge as you wish.
absolutely.
But the point is that there's technologies out there. We're all moving in the digital space, and utilizing a lot of these creative digital technologies out there can help push your sponsor story better. And the more you can push the sponsor story, I believe there's more ability for someone to pay for that sort of
I
opportunity
agree.
as
And
well.
I can only imagine what the future is going to bring, especially now that we're talking about the metaverse and what is going to happen in the next jump into the meetings and
That's
events.
another topic.
That's another topic that we're not even going to go there. But just it's coming. I mean, we see more and more of that, and people are starting to talk. And I'm curious about how that's going to work, which I'm sure is going to be fascinating. But yeah, I think that one thing that we can use as a takeaway is that talk to your partner, industry partner, and see how you can find the best ways to find new alternatives to streaming revenue coming
Or
in.
call us. We got knowledge.
There you go. Exactly. But I think that conversations are key, and that's what actually enriches us all because I learn from our partners, and like you learn from our partners, and they learn from us. So it's that's the way it has to go. That's the way it has to flow. It's partnerships, and
Yeah.
if we partner and we talk the right conversation, we can find amazing ways to create new streams of not only revenue but also knowledge and new ways to do things that we thought that was the way to do it, but maybe there's another one.
Yeah. So that's pretty good, I think, and if anyone has questions, obviously comment or send it in to us via email or social, and, we're all on it. Make sure that everybody can subscribe. It does help the channel grow, and we're starting small, but, we'll see where it goes, and it can't happen without the support of you. And the other part is a couple of announcements that are happening. Number one, we just launched our new website, which is really fantastic. So have a gander at the website. Number two, IMEX is coming up in about 3 weeks. So we'll be there. We're really excited. And on top of it, we actually have a really cool social that we're putting forth. It's actually out of this world, literally. So stay tuned for that. And then book an appointment with us if you're going to IMEX and learn a little bit more about our products and also how we can help you with things like this, like sponsorship, technology, and just trying to map out your program a little bit more efficient or see how you can make more money on it too. So we're definitely open to sharing, and we share, you share, we all win kind of deal. Is there anything else that we're missing, Anton?
I believe that if you have any ideas or topics that you would like to ask to have a clearer conversation, also send them over. We'll be happy to tackle those and have a deeper dive maybe, or just learn from what we are learning from our friends in the industry. But we're looking forward to see you guys at IMEX, and please check out the website. It's so cool. I am so excited. It looks amazing.
Flying chicken.
Great information. Their flying chicken is awesome. That's my favorite, the flying chicken. So check it out, and thank you. And wishing you a great day from my end.
Great. Awesome. And that's all. Thank you very much. Until next week. Bye.